Hi guys, so this is my analysis on XRP. What am I seeing on XRP? If you watched my previous analysis on XRP, I said I'm expecting a bit of a bearish move on XRP, and that is because my reason was because we can see right here that we are currently at this trend line right here. So I said there's a possibility that we might push down a little bit because of that. Then that will determine what next we're going to move after that. But I said I'm seeing more of a possibility that we're going to push to the downside a little bit before we go to the upside, and we can see it's probably on the downside. If I draw a trend line around this area right here, you can see that we currently broke the structure and we're moving to the downtrend. So what next am I saying that I think we might get to, right? I think we might get to my 78.6% fib level before we now continue to push to the downside. That's a possibility I'm saying, and my reason is because you can, if you look left right here, there's a break of structure around this area and it hasn't retested this beautiful engulfing candle yet. So there's a big possibility that we might still push down to around this level right here, which also aligns with my 78% fib level before we now continue to push to the upside or downside. There's a possibility that we might go down to this level right here, and there's a possibility we might continue to push up. And my reason is because we can see when it gets to this zone right here, it has been rejecting of this zone a lot. So there's a possibility that we are just coming down here, since you've seen a lot of rejections around this zone right here, rejections around that zone right here. There's a possibility that we might just decide to just push down to the structure right here before we now continue to push up. And there's another scenario that might happen because there's also a trend line that might need to be touched around this level right here. Let me go to a bigger time frame to see where the trend line comes from. So we can see the trend line is from, let me adjust it, the trend line is from here. So there's a possibility that we might still get down to that trend line, around that trend line right here, to give us a possible touch around that trend line before we now continue to push to the upside. That's a possibility, but before we can see that happen, it has to break this particular zone, like I said, right at this level right here. Because if I zoom in a little bit and if you look left, we can see anytime price action comes to this zone right here, it's a reject of that zone. So it means there's an higher chance that it might just push up because of the rejections we've seen from the prior price action. But let's just see how that happens though, because we can still see it pushing to the downside a little bit. Then that will determine if we break the structure right at the, if we break the zone right here and see a possible retest, there's a possibility that we might get it down to the next trend line target. But as of right now, we are seeing more of a bullish move because it's above this zone right here, above the zone right here. So there's a possibility that we might still push to the upside, but let's see how it reacts when we get around this area. Then that will determine if we have to re-strategize our analysis based on that current price action. But based on this current price action, I'm still seeing more of a bullish move. And in case if we get to this zone right here, and we see a lot of weak rejection, there's a possibility that we might continue to push up, and these are my targets for bullish move. So these are my targets for bullish move, and my reason is because if you've watched my analysis a lot, you will know that majority of the time my first targets are always my negative 27% fib level, and my second target are negative 61.8 fib level. And the reason for me always getting to negative 61.8 fib level is when negative 61.8 aligns with more of a market structure, and that's when I used to like take it there. But if not, I just get out of negative 27% because majority of the time when price action gets to my negative 27% level, we see like a reversal there. So I just get out of that trade. But we can see my negative 61.8 aligns perfectly well with this zone right here, and this zone was because there was a breakout structure around the zone and it hasn't retested yet. So there's a possibility that if we push to negative 61.8, that would be like the retest that we needed around the zone right here, retest of the zone right at that level before we now continue to push to the upside, before we now decide on what next to do. But just a quick recap, I'm seeing a possible move to like the downside before we now continue to the upside. And if we break the structure right here, the zone right here, I'm seeing a short move to my trend line right here. So that's just my overall analysis on XRP. Hope this is insightful, guys. Please don't forget to share, comment, and like, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching.